We talked about, we did the movie, we investigated gender, broadly speaking, is the other big one culturally. And so I knew I wanted to investigate that. The question was like, how do you approach it? And with What is a Woman, I mean, the strategy is right there in the title. It's just this one basic question that the whole thing hinges on. Now with race, it's not quite like that. There isn't one. There's a lot of questions. There's not one basic one. It's just it's a different beast in a lot of ways. And so, and we also didn't want to repeat just we didn't want to do What is a Woman, but with race. So I think for them, the idea that they might be interviewed by someone who fundamentally disagrees with them was really just like unthinkable. They never even considered the possibility because they're never even around those kinds of people. And we really kind of punctured that bubble, I guess, in making the film.
The most surprising thing to me, and I don't want to be speaking out of turn here, was the fact that you got to talk to Robin DiAngelo. And Robin DiAngelo famously is the author of White Fragility, which is really one of the most despicable books, I would say, that's ever been written. And I think she also fits into that category as a thinker and likely as a human being.
The fact that she's in the movie is no secret. We have her in the trailer. And,
right.
And that kind of goes to what I just said, that I think for her, she's probably the prime example of this. Because you would think, if you didn't know any better, you would think it'd be difficult to get Robin DiAngelo into a room, and that she'd be looking out for anyone who maybe isn't in her tribe. She'd be looking out for this kind of thing.
For example, because
right.
you might suggest that possibly Robin DiAngelo, if she was even vaguely informed about absolutely anything that she purports to be doing, would know who the hell you are.
And so when I'm sitting across the room with her having a conversation, I mean, it's probably the first time in years, if not ever, that she has, in this case unwittingly, but has found herself sitting in a room with someone who fundamentally disagrees with her about almost everything. And I don't know, these academic leftist types, that's the kind of bubble they're in. For a lot of us, we for me, obviously, because I am conservative and, my family's conservative and I work here at the Daily Wire, most of the people that I'm around are conservative, but, I interact with people that are far left all the time. It's, it would be a lot more difficult for someone on the left to do to me what we did to Robin DiAngelo, because I'm aware that these people are out there. I know who they are. I'm looking out for that kind of thing.
As far as you're concerned,
I think there are several things. Maybe the main thing that I learned, and I don't know if it's learned so much as had illustrated for me, but the extent to which a lot of people that fall for this, there are the people that push it, the Robin DiAngelo types, the women who run the race to dinner, who we have in the film.
Oh yes, that's Sarah Rao. Yeah.
Sarah Rao. Yeah. The DEI.
She's the worst person on Twitter, which is really, or arguably the worst. Every single thing that woman does is self-serving and malevolent to the bloody core. She is a real miracle.
Totally
she runs those dinners where the white women pay to be humiliated by two unbelievably narcissistic psychopaths so that they can feel good about themselves without actually having to do any having to put in any of the moral effort.
What I found making the film is that you really can't overstate the guilt that these people are walking around with. White guilt is a very real phenomenon. And I knew that making the movie, but having it illustrated so profoundly was still pretty enlightening to me. That a lot of these people are just, they're walking around with a lot of guilt. And for like a sane, rational white person like myself and you, it can be it's hard to understand because I've never spent any time feeling guilty about slavery or Jim Crow. I had nothing to do with it. It's